I don't know if I told you the story about a little girl. She fell way.
This is your first set at the Sydney Blues Festival, your first time here, and you're playing later on the main stage. It should be a fantastic show, I reckon.
Not that very long, about 6:30. Yeah.
6:30, couple of
hour
hours.
and a half from now.
What are you usually doing in the lead up to a show? Usually you wouldn't be sitting down talking to the likes of me, surely.
Oh, I just rehearse.
Rehearsing
All I do is rehearse.
right up until showtime?
Well, yeah. And I practice signing my autograph.
Who have you brought with you this time? Because obviously you're not just here by yourself.
No, I brought my band, my regular touring band, which is June Core on drums, Mike Phillips on bass, and Matt Stubbs on guitar.
For the uninitiated, for those who perhaps haven't seen Charlie play before, what can we expect from our show this evening?
1, 4, 5. Blues. Some tunes you maybe never heard before that I do, or maybe some I have done, and maybe I might make up something on the spot.
Nice. You've been doing this for such a long time. Are you one to write set lists, or does it just whatever you feel like doing comes out?
I have a set list, and just in case sometimes my mind goes blank, and I look down, oh, okay, I'll do that one.
Yeah. I recently interviewed a friend of yours, Mr. Ben Harper, and he told me that the two of you have just finished recording a blues album together, Get Up, which sounds fantastic. Tell me about that experience.
Well, it'll be out. The date keeps changing. Either the last week of January or the first week of February, and it's blues, but it's not like traditional Chicago blues.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a new way of being traditional.
Okay.
It's blues, but it's new blues. It's current blues.
Yeah.
Great tunes, great lyrics. The first time we were in the studio together was backing up John Lee Hooker, and that's when we really locked in musically, and ever since then we've been talking about doing something, and now our schedules finally worked out where we could both get in the studio together at the same time.
So this like modern blues that Ben brought in, and of course your traditional blues bass, how well did those two styles marry once you got into the studio?
My style and Ben's style?
Yeah.
Effortless. Just locked right in.
Yeah, fantastic.
I could tell where he was going, and he couldn't shake me. I went right with him.
Nice. I imagine that like over the course of your career, even you having done so much as a musician, you're always learning things. So was there anything that Ben taught you during this process?
No.
No. You already know it all. Tell me a little bit about your friendship and experiences with John Lee Hooker.
Some of the best stories I can't tell you. But,
you probably can. There's no one who's under the age of 18 in here, is there?
Well, there's still people that are alive that are involved in these stories. I used to stay at his house, and we did a lot of hanging out and drinking and telling stories, and I recorded with him many times, and he was just a real good friend. He'd be over his house. You never know who would come by. Albert King would drop by, or just all kind of musicians would just drop by. There's always a party going on.
Yeah.
I got a lot of great stories, but they're rather long.
In addition to John Lee, I mean, over the course of your career, you've played with a great many number of big old bluesmen like Muddy Waters and Junior Wells and Big Joe Williams and Buddy Guy and all those sorts of guys. I mean, they must have been amazing experiences as well. I mean, they're all like the guys who...
Yeah, I used to room with Big Joe in Chicago, and Junior Wells lived right around the corner from me. I used to walk by his house or his apartment often, and we would pass each other going to and from the liquor store all the time. I remember one time I was walking by, and I could hear this tune by Slim Harpo had just come out called Scratch My Back. And I could hear it coming out of Junior's apartment. And I went on to the liquor store. When I came back by, he was still playing it. I thought, I know what. Junior's going to do that tune tonight down at Teresa's Lounge. So I went down there that night, and I got to sit in before Junior did, and I played Scratch My Back ahead of him, and I saw him giving me this look like, you dirty dog.
looking back to those times and then comparing them to how the blues is now in 2012, I mean, obviously things have changed.
They have
changed a lot. Tell me how you have seen them change over that time.
Well, I remember when I first started playing, you couldn't even read about blues except there might be a little chapter in a book on jazz.
Yeah.
But now, today, there's like blues magazines and tons of blues books, and there's blues DVDs and all kind of instruction, and it's endless.
Yeah.
And so it's a world of difference. Blues festivals, there weren't blues festivals. Blues cruises, blues societies, all that stuff. None of that was around when I started out.